Hello, y'all. I am so fucking excited to share with you guys that today we're going to be watching the finale of Revenged Love. I did my homework. I wrote, oh, that's the wrong page. I did my homework because I wanted to share with you my thoughts on this show. So after we watch the finale, maybe my things will change. But I want to talk about a few things. Because I thought I'm technically a commentary channel, so that's what I'm expected to do. But I'm nervous, y'all. Why is this episode only 33 minutes long? This is the shortest by a huge margin. That I was expecting it to be an hour. I'd like prepared and everything. But that's okay. The episode is called I Have a Home Again. So it has a happy ending, right? Unless home is heaven. We're not gonna accept that. So I am gonna press play. If we don't get a happy ending, I'm never watching a show again. I will get so upset.
我听程宇说，这次无所谓，为了替咱儿子打点关系，把父母留下的老房子都卖了。
Wait.
又怎么样？
Did Chi Cheng tell her that?
我听程宇说，
Oh, Cheng Yu, okay.
这次无
Gu
所谓，
Cheng
为
Yu.
了替咱儿子打点关系，把父母留下的老房子都卖了。
那又怎么样？他就靠着驰骋呢。等驰骋出来，他那边公司缓过来，多少房子买不到啊？
你这话说的倒轻松。
Oh my
房子能买得
god.
到，念想能买得到吗？
Ah!
去文化广场，
去那儿干什么呀？
去了就知道了。
Is it the art exhibition? Two girls holding hands. I guess that's normal.
小朋友要什么？
我要这个。
来，给你。
快谢谢哥哥，谢谢。
不用谢。
给你钱。
好，谢谢啊。
哎，生意不错啊。
走啊！
我去。
Wait, why am I standing the mom now? Why do I like her? What is this change?
你呢？你今天怎么样？
还行。
小吴，
哎，阿姨，您怎么来了？
阿姨上次说的话有点重，
Yeah.
别往心里去。你有什么困难跟阿姨说，我给你钱，你别在这儿摆摊了。
不用，阿姨，我这也是来体验体验生活。我天天在办公室里坐着也压抑。哎，阿姨，您着急走吗？不着急的话，我给您吹个糖人。
好啊。
好嘞。
She definitely was like, okay. Okay, hygiene on par.
来，我们开始制作。
What are we making? You know what I just realized? He didn't sell the watch. The watch was expensive. But I guess that has sentimental value to Chi Cheng, so he didn't want to sell that. Oh. It's a snail! Wait. What the hell is that?
真好看。哎，你怎么知道我属兔？
Oh.
师婶告诉我的。
你有心了。
He's like a little kid. I don't want a Shika figure.
什么破玩意儿？
破玩意。
It kind of looks like... Y'all, I kind of wish I could pull it up. It's this dragon Pokemon. That's poison, I think, in a remake. It looks really ugly. I don't know its name. If you've played Legend of Arceus, it's the dragon, the poison. I don't know what it's called. It kind of looks like that.
燕儿，你给我吹一个试试。我看这回咱们是拦也拦不住喽。都怪你！你说你让家里的律师和公司财务帮衬一下，这会儿说不定驰骋就能出来了，你还偏不。
Oh, he hasn't even helped.
欠什么欠？驰骋还不是因为他进去的，他这么做是应该的。再说了，我哪想得
Well, technically, it's Cheng's fault.
到这么
Not
抠搜
Wei.
的玩意儿，这次这么打发。
成事不足败事有余。哎，你干嘛？你个死老头子，这要不要脸呐？
哼，还挺甜。
你都吃过了，能不甜吗？
Ah! Wait!
来，
谢谢哥哥。
Why do I like them?
我刚才跟律师去见过他了。
他说什么了？
I knew it. Okay, I was right. Guys, can you fathom? If I was in love with someone and they told me they hated me, even if they didn't mean it, I would internalize that shit so much. I don't know if I'd ever trust them again. That's how fragile I am. I know that's not their relationship, but oh my god. Oh. Okay, I got it right. He has a very pretty handwriting. We have not seen this balcony in so long.
明天就出审理结果了。程宇说咱们一块儿过去。我就不去了吧。明天我还要出摊。
Girl,
你怎么能
no.
不去呢？
Yeah.
驰骋要是出来了，第一眼想见到的肯定是你啊。万一他出不来呢？
Oh, I got chills. And they're multiplying.
求你不替我去吧。那种场合，我实在是不知道该怎么面对驰骋的父母。
There's no way it's going to be not in his favor. We have 20 minutes to figure this shit out. So they actually showed up. They didn't even help him out while he's in jail, and now they're going to... I don't know how I feel about that. The dad is sweaty.
干爹，干妈，这个呢是我跟驰骋的好朋友小帅。
啊！
叔叔阿姨，你们放心吧，驰骋一定会没事的。
我根本就不担心，就该让这混小子多吃点苦头。
不担心，
Shut
你回家
up.
带着去。走走。
Yeah. Go, leave.
没事了，干妈。
I want the dad to leave. I love this. Guys, can I get that shirt? Oh my god.
老板，来个桃仁，
自己拿。
Who is it? Oh, we... A thief! Thief! I guess we don't care.
你可以走了。
哎，驰骋，驰骋，驰骋！
哎，你别跟儿子说难听的话啊，他都受那么多罪了。
我
If the dad does not get a comeback, he's gonna join my top 3 list of
兄弟啊，
most hated characters.
那你还瘦了你？怎么样？没事了，自首了，那就好。
Oh.
儿子，
妈，
事了。
放心，
So he turned himself in. Did he get the money?
薇薇呢？
哦，这个点儿他应该还在卖糖人呢，我现在通知他。
I would be so sad if I was him and Wei Wei was not there.
钥匙给我吧。
Oh, he reeks, probably.
那人自首了。
So how did he get the money? Because if Wei Wei already paid... Sorry, now I'm calling him Wei Wei. Sorry. If Wei paid, why would he be working at the candy shop? The Shuka figurine shop. Ah!
干爹干妈，叔叔阿姨，要是没什么事儿，我们先走了，我们先走了。
Oh, boo-hoo, the rich people don't have a car anymore. How are we gonna get home? Oh. Walk. Or take a taxi. Oh. Oh, oh, we're gonna get happiness.
每个人都有，不要抢，不要抢，每个人都有。来，一个一个拿。
This is the same voice actress has done all the children. I love it. Dao Dao when Wei was a child. She's getting her paycheck.
怎么还少两个？
Because he stole them.
江小帅，你干嘛？
How did they get there before?
你也不管管江小帅？管管啊！来，你们这对奸木蚁木狗男男，趁着吃者不再欺负我！停，别动！
What? What?
你们俩怎么也来了？走。
What? This seems less part of the plot and more just an excuse to blast water at the actor. Oh, and they're playing this song. What is that? What? In public. Girl.
你知道吗？你来之前，这4个人把我欺负成什么样？ 那大水枪子往我头上喷，往我嘴里灌，我到现在晚饭我还吃不下。还好你来了，还好你来了，把他们打了个落花流。
Oh, he missed the yappering. Oh, this is what I've been missing for the past few episodes. For what?
你为什么要说谢谢？咱俩什么关系？你要说谢谢？
亲兄弟还明算账呢。
咱俩是亲兄弟吗？咱俩是两口子啊，两口子你还明算账？你要干嘛呀？
你快知道咱俩是两口子。
嗯，
叫声老公听听。叫啊，叫啊！
滚
Say it.
滚啊！别动！我现在困，我要睡觉。
睡吧。
吴警官，你不要乱来啊！
What, they've been apart for so long? Girl, that guy's full of hormones. Why is he there? Chi Cheng did not sleep at all. Oh my god. True. Guys, what this just means is that all the time that Chi Cheng was gone, Wei didn't sleep properly. Like, he's so... What's the word in English? Sleep deprived. That's not gonna happen. True.
不行，我直接给他们送进去。这份你吃着啊。
Oh, he's so happy. I love his happy smile.
你可真是个……嘘，别。他是谁啊？他是祖宗，记得吃啊。你等着。
God, how long has it been? That looks so... Oh, I'm so hungry now.
哟，终于舍得醒了。来，尝尝成语做的。哇塞，成语也太会做了吧！我的幸福生活要来了，你们的幸福要结束了。啊？
哎？
喂，成宇。啊，人醒了，不用再来做饭了。
行，总算给我省事儿了。出来看看。没事儿，薇薇，我带你去吃米其林。哎，等一下啊，我马上过来。
Y'all, I'm gonna be so for real. Michelin starred restaurants to me are so overrated. They're good ones. But why one, because they have the star, they get the authority to increase their prices by like 10 times. And then the portions are like this big. No. No, I'm sorry. No.
小帅，我这儿有点事儿，你晚上点个外卖自己吃吧，啊。
哎呀，
Oh oh.
能不能加为师一番？求求了。
Why can these people not be alone?
听你的。
Okay, but we need to wrap up storylines, right? What about the brothers? And we have... Look, we have like 15 minutes left. What we need to wrap up so much.
按照我说的去做吗？
成语。
小帅，
Oh,
你怎么在这儿啊？
is he gonna
没
propose?
去陪无所谓吗？
谁家无所谓忙着谈恋爱呢，哪顾得上我呀？
哦，
你怎么从这家餐厅的后门出来了？你不是不喜欢吃这餐厅的菜吗？
就是因为这家餐厅不好吃，所以呢，我准备拯救它。
He's gonna buy
打算
it?
盘下来当主厨啊？
你呀，我只做饭给你吃。不过挺聪明的，猜对了一半。
啊？
后半段呢，就需要江医生去拯救喽。
啊？我？我需要拯救什么？
Where are we?
这里以后呢，就是江医生的诊所了，当然需要江医生负责喽。
顾成宇，你这什么意思啊？
你不是一直想扩充诊所，接诊更多病人吗？我想帮你一起完成这个愿望。
你是怎么知道的？义诊那天，你来了。
恭喜你，彩票中奖了。
Am I the only one that if I was Xiao Shui, if I was in his footsteps or in his shoes, I would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I would always be in debt to this person. Like, oh, I wish I had no guilt. So I could just find a rich man and take all his money. But y'all, I can't even take money at all. Like, I'm so like, Wei, like, I do not like, I don't know if I could accept, if someone came up to me and be like, oh, here's this thing you wanted for your whole life. I'm like, one, I feel like I'd feel so guilty, but also, I've been working my whole life to get this. I want to get it myself. Like, you know?
我都想清楚了，这两个地方呢，我们可以轮流来装修，这样也不耽误你接诊。不过你之前那个药柜做的实在是太高了，每次你拿第3排药的时候，你都得踮着脚你才能够得着，所以正好趁这一次呢，重新设计。哦
Maybe he feels guilty.
卧室，反正以后他也用不着了，正好趁这次可以改成医护人员的休息室。来，
Aren't they only like 3 people? Or 2 people? Chubby and him.
还有这个天台
And there's a girl.
就属于我们了。只要
Oh.
你想来，随时都可以来，没有人会打扰你。
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming.
怎么了？
没事儿，风太大，眼睛里面进沙子了。
江小帅，你不会是感动了吧？
你把蛇源卖了，是为了要扩大诊所，对不对？
算是聘礼吧。 其实这件事情呢，我已经想了很久很久很久了。聘礼嘛，总是要送一些你真正需要的东西，只
Is
要你喜欢。
sorry, I don't know what the word betrothal or whatever it is means, but I'm assuming it's a gift you give to commence like an engagement or like a wedding. Like it's something you give to someone as a mean. That's my assumption. Then it's a justifiable, but it just baffles me. Like, because it would have taken him decades to accomplish his dream, and now he just gets to do it like this. People have that much money. I mean, I'll never see that kind of wealth, which is fine, but
一切都是
I would feel overwhelmed.
可是我什么都没有为你做过呀。
Yeah, that's how I would feel.
没关系，我知道的。我们江医生呢，心系天下，悬壶济世。
Yeah, that's true. Oh, why am I gonna? I'm tearing up. Uh,
帅帅，你就负责爱这个世界。
is this a thing in Chinese that like nicknames you say the name twice? Like I'm saying Wei Wei, Shui Shui. Like, is that a thing? I love it. It's cute. The issue is in my language, when you say a word, like when you say hello, if you say hello twice, you actually say goodbye. So I have negative connotations to this. Why are we doing that at the end of the show? They've already kissed, they've already had sex. Okay.
我有变形金刚。叔叔阿姨，
来了。
飞机
Is that
太壮了，
豆豆，
舅妈
想不想我呀？
想
想玩具还是想我呀？
想舅妈，
舅妈没白疼你啊，嘿嘿。
that's what he played with as a kid? Right? Because we saw that when Wei was trapped.
这飞机，我小时候不是玩坏了吗？这是兜兜要拿出来玩的。
明明就是老爷要拿出来的，
Oh,
老爷变人。
caught in the act. But it's not broken.
来，豆豆，
Is that
那你们玩吧。
Lego? Taste.
我来陪你玩。想玩什么呀？
豆豆，来，大舅给你准备的新装。
One of them is Lego. The left. The left. Okay.
过去。
Ah.
你把他抱回来干嘛？
Yeah.
那请问为什么要跟我们一起睡呢？
啊，人家一个小孩子又是一个人在别人家里头，他一个人睡觉会害怕的。
你把他放旁边去，别放到中间。
为什么不能放中间啊？
我抱你睡觉压到他怎么办？
那你为什么要抱我啊？
不是每天都抱着你睡觉吗？
哦，
This
不
baby.
用抱了，我有它了。小脸都软和。
无所谓，我吃醋了。
Of a baby.
行行，明天就算我姐不来接，我也要把她送回去。
豆豆， 睡觉。
无所谓。
What?
睡觉。
I wonder if this is their way to convey like family without necessarily showing them their own kit, if that makes sense. Oh, he really brought it home. Brought him home.
姐，
家里。
回来了。豆豆，
妈妈，
我先回去了，姐。
不在家里吃饭了。
改天吧，等会儿还有个事情要处理。
行，那你路上慢点。
What does that mean?
走了啊，豆豆。
拜拜，舅舅。
拜拜。
If he gets into a car accident, I will
豆
riot.
豆，这2天玩的怎么样？
好。
哎，你这是要把我带哪去啊？你最近在搞什么？3天2头往外跑。
The eyes. Oh, this is a running joke at this point.
你不会要把我卖了吧？
谁要你啊？我把你扔大街上都没有人要。走。
This is going to be the final scene.
看不到。我有那么不值钱吗？
Sometimes, I guess. Money losing guy? Why did I not predict that he was gonna buy the house back?
带我来哪儿了？
Oh, I knew it! I knew it!
准备好了吗？
Oh. Oh, it's this song again. Oh. Oh.
怎么了？自己家都不认识？
你什么时候买的？
上周。
呀！你知道吗？我做梦的时候梦到这棵树被做成家具了，得亏不是真的，得亏不是。
你放10000个心吧，有我在都不会变的。
谢谢你。
这小院多好啊，是吧？啊，开个价吧。啊，少了这个数不卖。可以，700万可以，但有个前提，屋里一样东西都不能少。
太放心，
你放心吧，啥东西都没动过。
就是，这树啊就是冒着是吧？
就是，这
早知道早点买这个房子了，可以早点吃枇杷，是吧？
What?
不是。
哎呀，枇杷特别甜，对吧？
Oh my god, they actually changed it.
树呢？树不就是树吗？这个啊，当我是傻子吗？我说的是以前的那棵树呢。
以前的卖了。
卖给谁了？
我也不知道，反正就是来了一个人，
You had one job in your contract to not sell this.
说想收这棵树，我就让他给拉走了。
哎，就是。
What?
哎，不是。
不是，
我到梨园了，没看到。帮我看下一个，有事给我打电话。你帮我调一下这个画面。
Okay, are we gonna make a prediction who it is? The dad? But how would the dad know? I'm only thinking of the dad because of the redemption. Like, I guess someone else it could be is the brother. Wang Zhen, I think is his name. Like, it could be him, but I'm like, why? That would just, like, make no sense. So I'm gonna guess that it's the dad.
是吗？不是，你看那像不像？更不像了。其他地方再找找。起来了。走，
起来了。
去吃饭吧。
啊，
走了，吃饭。不是这个。
哎，查到了，好像是有一辆车经过这儿。把这个放大。
我都转了好几手才收到这棵树，你竟然能找到这儿来，我真是佩服你。
Oh, it's just a random? Wait, it was just a random person?
不是这个。
哎，查到了，好像是有一辆车经过这儿。把这个放大。
我都转了好几手才收到这棵树，你竟然能找到这儿来，我真是佩服。
It's just a random person. Okay. I don't understand why a random person would go into a house and be like, I want that tree.
怎么了？
But I guess it's a fruitful tree.
虫子蛰了。
我说了不让你爬树，你非要爬。我帮你看看。
Oh, they look so good in white. Okay, I don't want to pause too much in the last scene, but in the entire show, this neck has always been violated. Like, it's been very rough. And then at the end, we get this cute little romantic scene with the neck, which I think, like, represents that change.
1年0.2个月。
1年0.2。
That's not that long.
那为什么我感觉我们俩好像刚在一起几天？那种热情一点都没有衰减。
那是因为你反射弧比较长。
那我要怎么样让你变得和我一样反射弧比较长啊？
如果你一直保持这个状态，保持爱我的样子，我可以不用反手。
Hello.
我又有家了。
And he does not mean the house. It's over? What? I'll stop it there. Also, y'all, I just realized, and I'm so sorry, the camera has been kind of bad on this one, I suppose, with the filter. But I think it's fine. It looks... You know what? I can't do anything about it, so I'm just gonna move on. Oh! That was such an interesting ending. And I'll talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna make that one of my talking points. Because what I essentially wanted to do was... If you're familiar with my drama list, like my drama list, it's a site where you can rank and see shows. I don't think it's explicit to like only for BLs. But you can watch shows, you can rank them. And I have never done it in the past, but I took the ranking criteria and I want to talk about those. So it's story, acting and cast, music, rewatch value, and then I added editing because I would like to talk about the editing of the show. And then after that, I wrote like a few topics I just wanted to talk about, like thoughts I had before I started this episode of like just observations and things that I noticed about the show that I wanted to talk about. But if we start on the top, I really like this show. I think it is one of the best BLs to have come out of the BL world. I think I don't want to compare it relative to other Chinese BLs exclusively, because I do think that the censorship that has occurred has impacted the storytelling of Chinese BLs. I've been talking a lot about Stay With Me as another Chinese BL that I watch, but it's censored. So I feel like it's not really accurate to compare them. So I'm not going to do that. But as a whole, I really, really like this show, and I will go into why, because I do think that's important. I can't just say, oh, I loved it. I think there are very key points as to why I think I enjoyed the show more than other shows that I'm watching. Starting with the acting and the cast, so like how good is the acting, how well is the casting done, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Primarily because of the main couple. It is so... I love when you find two actors who are so comfortable with each other and that the chemistry is working. And I think that Wei and Chi Cheng's characters are only so well done because of their chemistry. I do think the characters themselves are very fittable. Like, I'm sure other actors, it's very compatible, right? You have this dark, mysterious guy into BDSM, very dark, and then you have this comically cringe, unhinged, kind of crazy guy, right? It kind of fits. But I think they take it a step further. Like, their chemistry is just out of this world. Like, I'm genuinely so intrigued and drawn into them as characters that I want to go beyond that. Like, I've looked up their music, I've looked up what else they're in. Like, that, it took us beyond just the show. That's how I liked it. The mom of Wei, love her. And I think everyone else is okay. Like, I do I think the second couple is like my favorite second couple of all time? No, but I think they did what they had to do. I think it's hard to judge the acting when it's like voiceover, because you're not actually able to fully hear the emotions and convey it. And I actually think it's a disadvantage, because you have all of these emotions and then you have to react it like outside of that moment. Like, you have to feel it. And Wei did such a phenomenal job with that. Like, the moment with his mom, the moment, I think it was episode 8 or whatever episode, when he was so... It's the moment where he first initiates the kiss and he's like, you're mine, please remember you're mine. Like, he had to act that voiceover. So I just want to commend them for the ability to be able to do that. I think that's very impressive. The next category that I'll go over very shortly, because there's absolutely no need for me to talk about this, is music. It's also a 5 out of 5. This is probably my favorite original soundtrack, or maybe not original soundtrack, but my favorite soundtrack from any show. I don't know if it's because I'm watching it with a camera on that I'm able to like pay attention to it more, because I haven't really been drawn into a soundtrack as much as I felt with this show. Like, every single song, every time they say, like, start happening, I'm like, oh, something's about to happen. And I like that they reused the same songs, because it created that expectation of, okay, you kind of know where the show is headed. You understand more symbolically what's about that scene. So I really liked it. I like that they had a mixture of, I'm assuming, original songs, but then also pre-existing songs. So I loved it. I loved the music. Loved the instrumentals. Loved the feeling that it gave. So that's where I put that. Rewatch value is the next category, and I give it a 5 out of 5. I'd watch this again. In fact, I might actually watch it by myself, because I think that would give me another, like, feeling about it. I think when I have a camera on, I always feel like I have to analyze and go back, and there's obviously things that I missed that I'm able to pick up on. And a lot of you guys have been commenting like things that I missed or like observations from the novel. What I might do is actually read the novel. Is there an English translation of it? There should be. Read the novel and then watch the show again. I do that sometimes because I'm obsessed with things. Now, the two categories I want to talk about, and I don't know if this is controversial, so please bear with me, but I gave the story itself a 4 out of 5. And I want to explain why. There were a lot of plots happening, and I do think they were able to wrap up all of the plots in the end. But I felt like there was missing a main storyline. And I felt like in the beginning, probably up until halfway through the show, the main storyline was this act that Wei was putting on for Chi Cheng, right? In order to get revenge. That kind of stopped in episode 14 or 15 or 16, right before the mom passed away. And then anything after that felt very different. Like after that, after the mom passed away, I'm like, okay, we're kind of wrapped up for plots. And then they created these like small additional plots at the end with Wei getting kidnapped and then Chi Cheng going to jail. And usually in, like, if you're looking at it from, like, I don't want to say the Hollywood model, but that's, like, the theory that it's called. But it's this idea that this is how a show is modeled, and then it gets up to this point of no return, and then it's usually at the end of a show or at the end of a movie, it's the climax, and then it goes down. In my honest opinion, the climax of this show was 2 things. When they broke up, was that episode 15 or 16, whenever around that time, and when the mom passed away. And the mom, the reason it's climax is like emotional intensity. In the last 4 episodes, I didn't feel that much climax happening. The kidnapping, I didn't feel as much tension. Even with the jail, it felt very calm. Like there wasn't a lot of tension built into it. So I think that's what I was struggling with. That there were things I'm going to talk about later, but like the snake plot, we didn't even talk about snakes, which I'll talk about in a bit, but that's why I feel that way. I don't know if it was because of it was too long. I also know that there's a lot of discourse about halfway through the show while it was airing, it paused for a while and a lot of editing happened. Maybe that impacted the storyline a little bit, but like even here at the end, I wanted more from Wei and Chi Cheng. Like I wanted more closure. Like it felt, yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling with it a little bit. I'm gonna sit with it a little bit, but it's hard when a show gets the climax is in the middle, or you know, not at the end, because then you're just left being like, it was so intense. Like, guys, I cried for 5 episodes, 6 episodes straight, and then now I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. Which does lead me into the last category, which is editing. And I did give it a 3 out of 5. But I also want to acknowledge that a lot of people have provided this context, which I didn't know. But the editing was not in the hands of the author and the actors and the cast and everyone throughout the whole show. If I'm understanding it right, towards the later part of the show, someone else had control of the editing. And I am wondering if, like, is the reason why the final episode is 33 minutes because a lot of things were edited out. I am even, and I've brought this up before, but I'm even questioning, did they edit out some of the more sensual or sexual scenes between Wei and Chi Cheng? Because we have not seen any since the big ones in the middle. That to me has just felt weird. Like it kind of felt like a whole different show sometimes, where things I've told it before, like when the mom was in the hospital and Wei comes in, he's crying, and then they edit to the next scene, and I'm like, why are we switching? And I acknowledge again, right, like I don't think it necessarily was intentional. I think that there were just like political stuff maybe going around back behind the scenes that caused the editing to be this way. I do think that in the beginning of the show, and even in a shot like the one I'm showing right here, it's phenomenal. I think it's so well done. I really like the intentionality of the editing, the way that they have structured it, the amateurness, which is a compliment. I really like it. I just think that maybe even the story was impacted because of this change in editing and the way that it seems like things have been cut out. But still, overall, I mean, if you want to do the math, it's 22 out of 25 points. But I don't want people to run with that and say, oh my god, the show is not one of the best ones, because I still think it is. I think that the plot was so captivating. You kind of really draw into the characters. I felt like there were a lot of nuances in the show, which I'll also talk about. But I still liked it. And a 22 out of 25 for me is really good. Usually when I think about shows, they don't really always get this high. Okay? So I just want you guys to know that I really enjoyed this show. And I think it's one of the best ones I've watched as a BL of all time. And I've watched BLs for the last decade, if not more. There are a few topics I quickly want to touch about because I don't understand what happened in some of these, or I just want to talk about it. But the first one were the snakes. We spent 10 episodes talking about those snakes, and I guess the symbolism behind the snakes and what it meant. I think maybe the snakes felt more attached to, like, Chi Cheng's past relationship with Wang Shou. So I guess, like, maybe removing them in the later part of the show proves that Chi Cheng has moved on. I do think it was very abrupt that these snakes disappeared. The more I think about it, I guess it is symbolic that obviously we're not going to talk about the snakes anymore because Chi Cheng has moved on from that relationship and that part of his life, and he's now more focused on Wei. But he didn't move on to anything that symbolizes Wei. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the snake symbolized Wang Shou and his time there, what symbolized his relationship with Wei? Like, I wanted more symbolism there, if that makes sense. The second part is the seduction, the tension, and the inexplicably sexual relationship between the two main characters, because up until episode 16, it was off the roof. I felt, and I'm so excited to watch the behind the scenes because people are saying it's even more juicy there, but I loved it. It felt not awkward, it felt intentional. You could definitely see that the character of Wei was really struggling with this battle of multiple battles that he was dealing with, and in that episode where he just lets it all go and be like, you're mine, and then he kisses him, I'm like, like, it felt so real. It didn't feel objectifying, despite it having elements of, like, BDSM and, like, more, I guess, darker sides of kinks and things like that, where oftentimes in these shows it gets really awkward, cringe, because the characters are not really able to execute that side. The actor of Chi Cheng did really well in that. I never felt awkward. I never felt, like, weirded out about it. It felt very natural, even from the character of Wei's perspective. Like, I think it worked tremendously well. I've already talked about how sometimes I felt with the secondary couple that their sexual tension felt a little forced and a little, like, not as natural. I don't know if it was the plot. I just think it was the actors might not have been as comfortable with each other, but I don't know about that. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was the Meng Tao storyline. It kind of happened over just one episode, and I kind of wish... I think they could have used that storyline to build out the secondary couple a little bit more. Like, Meng Tao was a sexual predator, y'all. And we kind of just removed him. Like, I don't know if he got justice, but I also think that there were a lot of, like, emotional trauma that Xiao Shui was dealing with in that episode and then never dealt with it again. Like, I think when the whole thing with Wei and Chi Cheng trying to, like, scam or trick Xiao Shui into sleeping with Go Chongyu. I kind of wish that they had explored, like, maybe the reason he was so hesitant and reserved was Meng Tao and, like, dealing with that aftermath. I think that could actually have built up this tension, or even the storyline of Chongyu actually reassuring him. And you see what I mean? Like, I think that they could have built their relationship more, and I think that would have made me realize, like, they essentially only slept with each other because their friends were forcing them to. Like, that felt a little flat to me. It felt like at one of those 4 storylines again. I did really like and sorry, I'm just moving around my topics, but moving to the next topic, it was family. And I actually really liked the portrayal of the family. Both the mom on Wei's side, I don't have any comments. I don't even want to talk about her because that's going to make me emotional. But Chi Cheng's family, I actually really liked how it ended. I think obviously they could have explored more, but I did think they spent the last 4 or so episodes like exploring the reasons behind his dad, the mom. I will say the dad didn't really have his redemption. I think they could have spent a little bit more time on that. And the mom seems to have changed out of nowhere. She went to the US, was like very much adopted the sister's mannerisms and thoughts and behaviors. We can obviously make assumptions that maybe because spending time with her sister, who was very adamant about, you know, it's his life, we're in a different era, so she's probably, you know, learned from the sister. But I wish there was more like of an internal battle with the mom in accepting her son. I think we didn't really get to see that. It just changed out of nowhere. Which brings me to the sister. I love her. Love her. We didn't really see anything about her. She was definitely there to pull forward the plot of Wei and Chi Cheng, which I'm okay with. Yue, not family, but what happened to her? Did she find love? She didn't get her redemption either. Maybe she wasn't supposed to, but she was kind of an important character. I wish they had maybe closed that out a little bit more. Especially, like, we didn't even get to see her after Chi Cheng found out that she had had a relationship with Wei. Again, I was just criticizing or going over, right, that the story felt like maybe 24 episodes was not long enough. But I felt like there were these closure moments that they could have put into the show in these 24 episodes. The same with the brothers. They did get their closure, I think, more so than the others. I don't understand why they were there at the end, blowing the water. If my lover's ex-boyfriend, who literally tricked everyone, is a scammer, is a horrible person, kind of. Not the worst, but like a horrible person, came and sprayed water at me, I would be like, girl, get a grip, go away. But, you know, that's okay. I do want to end the show, end the video by saying I really enjoyed this show. I know I just went over some comments and thoughts that I had, but I think it was me actively looking at it from a more critical perspective of what can be improved. But I also think there's something beautiful about art that's not exactly how we want it to be. I think my highlights was the main couple. I relate a lot to the character of Wei. I find myself being crazy a lot of the times. I have a saying that, you know how Beyonce says crazy in love? I kind of am the opposite, where I need someone who can take me down from my crazy and like validate my emotions and like ground me, which I think Chi Cheng is very good at. And I think that's why I really like them, because I see myself in Wei. I yearn for someone as good as Chi Cheng. And I was like, a lot of people have been being like, oh, Chi Cheng is a walking red flag. Where? Like, the only thing I can think about is in the beginning when one of his guys, like, when the snakes were stolen and he did it, and they sort of sexually assaulted him. I think that's a very bad thing to do. But in the context of the relationship, he's a pretty good guy. Or am I, like, just so delusional and, like, yearnful that... Irregardless, I think they did really well. From my understanding, it's one of their like they're not very experienced actors, so I'm excited to see how their future endeavors are going to go. Do I think they're going to act in a show again together? No. I've heard of all the commotion that it has created, a lot of drama and a lot of tension. I also don't think China is as intense in their couples as like countries like Thailand, which I know like there's a lot of emphasis on like like standing the actual couple, not the characters, like the actors. But I don't think China has the same, or at least I haven't seen the same pattern. But I think they have phenomenal chemistry, and if they do come out with another show, it doesn't even have to be a BL. I'd watch it. Okay. I am gonna wrap it up here. I've been yappering for a long time, but I do want to say thank you so much for like watching the show with me. When I decided to watch it and record it, I was very scared that no one's gonna be watching, and I was just gonna be by myself. So I'm very happy of how receptive it's been. It's also given me the encouragement to, you know, start other shows. I am gonna start another show very soon. I have a poll. I think, is it called Aro series, which is another Chinese show, is the next one that's coming up. But I might also start multiple shows at once. You know, I can multitask. It's not like I have a full-time job. I do. But we make it work. I want to say thank you. Feel free to leave your comments, your thoughts. How did you like the show? What was your highlights? What were your lowlights? Did you agree with my opinions of the show? Do you disagree? And I also want to ask you guys, what should I watch the behind the scenes? I think I will, because everyone's hyping them up. Is it the ones on YouTube, or do I need to look somewhere else? Let me know before I start. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna send all my love to the actors, the cast, the editors, whoever's been involved in this 10 out of 10 show. If you've been watching this the whole way, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.